Hello team, today's challenge is Schema Validator Part 6. I feel like we're coming to the end of this. We are getting very close because today we are adding those nested arrays, right? So we've built out this user profile and now we are going to create an array of user profiles. But that user profile depends exactly on the previous schema that we built out. So now we have this nested object thing where we have to go in and test for that, and we can get that done very, very quickly. To start, I'm going to jump over to my old code. So this is part 5, and I am going to bring this over because retyping this, it would just take too long, okay? But just a reminder of what we have here. We have a way to, we have these static methods, and each one, it's kind of modeled off of Zod. It is not Zod code, right? If you compare my code to Zod's, Zod's is probably way more robust, right? They have a whole system in place. Mine is just for these tests, but it follows the same pattern inside of the schema build out, right? Where we're creating the object. We have strings, we have numbers, we have booleans, we have strings that depend or that can only be of certain values, right? So we take care of that. We have options. We didn't do chaining. Instead, we just wrapped it up, right? And it works for us. And last time we did arrays, an array of strings. Today we're doing an array of other things, of objects, okay? So with that, we need to build this part out. We're going to rename default schema to user, capital U, because that's what they want, user profile, right? That's what they've got. Check in my names. Yes, user profile, okay? And then down here, we're going to use that default schema because we still want to be able to pass in a different kind of schema if we get this right, okay? And that is going to be this object. So we can go and grab that. I could have probably just typed it just as fast, but here we are, scrolling all the way down and pasting it in, okay? Actually not pasting it in. I'm going to back out because what I want is validator.object as a method and then pasting that in. And right here, instead of this user profile with the angle brackets, I'm going to get rid of that and go validator.array and passing in our user profile. Now, if we do this, it's not going to work because we haven't found a way to parse those inner objects, right? So we have to do that. And the way that we do that is we need to remember that whenever we generate an object, we get a parse, right? And that parse is based off of the schema at that point. So right here, for my user profile, I have an object and it has all this stuff. Well, there's a parse function that only deals in all this stuff. And now I've created a new object, which is this right here. So this too has a parse function. The outer one has a parse function that we'll never use because of how we set this up. Actually, that's not true. We use it right here, right? And then from there, once we get inside, as soon as we hit this object that is a child object, we're going to fire its individual parse. And that's the key to this, okay? So scrolling right up to my array, and we're going to get into every right here, and I'm going to set up a new if, right? It's going to use schema L a couple times, so we'll do that. So schema L dot type equals object, okay? And if that's true, then we go schema L dot parse. We are guaranteed to have a parse because it's up here, right? It's right there. So great. What are we passing in here? Well, it's going to be val, okay? So whatever that value is, and what did I miss? Schema L.type object. Oh, I forgot to return. Forgot to return. So there it is. And it's done, right? It's done beautifully. All we had to do was add a couple extra bits. We can space this out and make it a little bit pretty. And that's really it. The thing that I do want to take care of, though, is what if we have an object inside of an object, right? And I've talked about that in previous videos. This time it's an object inside of an array, but it could be just an object inside of an object. So what we should do is we should quickly grab this code, copy it, bring it down to our parse function inside of every, right? And paste it here. Of course, re-indenting it, and we have to update schema. It's not schema anymore. It's this.values.key, which we probably should break out to its own variable because we use it everywhere, right? But at this point, if this.values.key.type is object, then we parse that, right? Based off of not val, but object key, okay? We have no test for that. If we did, that would absolutely catch and we would do it. A little bit of repeating code, but the values that go into that repeating code are different. Could we break that out to its own method or its own function? Absolutely. But this is how simple it is today. Once we figure out how to set up our parsing data, right, or our class with our static methods, and each one of those is individually testable, it gets really easy to build in. We just update array. We didn't need to update anything else, right? We added these 3 lines here for the object. We did it down inside of parse as well, just because they haven't tested for that, but we could, right? That's an option. So we should check against that and do that. And then just, again, never touching our root function. Always just updating the validator and letting it work. And it works great. So with that, let me know in the comments. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Did you go a different way? All that stuff. Share it. I love seeing it. Otherwise, today this has been Schema Validator Part 6, and I will see you in the next one.